Rick Renell is joining us now. And Rick, I texted to you, I think it was already today when I did it, but you have been someone, and you deserve credit for it on the broadcast. You've been fighting for President Trump and his ideas for really the last 3.5, almost 4 years on this broadcast, traveling the country through midterms, through different election cycles, working to get this country back on track. So I just want your first reaction, Rick, when you saw the numbers start coming in, not just the ideas that it looked good going into election night, but the actual votes. How did you feel?
Well, it was such a big night, Jordan. It was, I think I felt in the very beginning it was a little slow. I'm frustrated that we don't have our secretaries of state and the county clerks working faster. I think we've got to fix that. There's no reason we can't get this information faster. I mean, look, Arizona has proven to be the most corrupt place for elections. It's unbelievable that they're still at like 50-some% of the vote counted. Oregon is at 72%. I mean, this is unacceptable to be able to, have a democracy, a republic that works towards transparency and accountability, and yet we can't fix some of these elections issues. But as the numbers came in, certainly the big news for me was Pennsylvania, and then to see Wisconsin and Michigan as well. Now to look at Arizona and Nevada. I mean, Donald Trump just crushed it. He was the campaign manager. He was the campaign spokesman. He was the campaign chief strategist. What we have now learned is that Donald Trump has been running ahead of every single politician who is winning in these elections from the Republican side. He is the leader of the party. We're going to be talking about for the next 20 years who the Donald Trump America First candidate is, and he deserves every single credit for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, he was, listen, even before being shot, I mean, and I say that, Rick, really honestly, I mean, the legal lawfare that was launched against him, I mean, we spent 2 years fighting back on that. I mean, I remember getting up at 5 in the morning every day doing interviews on Fox and Newsmax, those places, just trying to update people, but also trying to keep people calm that this would not impact his ability to run the race, that he's not the kind of person that this would sidetrack. And he proved that as well, how tough he was, not only dealing with that, but dealing with the threats that he faced and the actual attempts on his life that he faced. I know a lot of I think before I get to that question, I know a lot of our listeners, our viewers right now, Rick, one thing I'm sure they'd want to hear from you is what was it like to be around President Trump last night and the family and those who have been fighting, 24/7 for 4 years to get him back?
Look, I was nervous. People around me were nervous, and you'd look at President Trump, and he was calm. He was taking calls. He was looking at data, but smiling, joking, always taking time to talk to people. And I was like, wow, this is unbelievable how cool he is. It just and cool, like calm, and I just have to say that watching him last night in the midst of this and how calm he was, it just shows Americans that we have the right leader. He maintains this calm, cool, collected attitude, whether it's about him, whether it's about the safety of our country. He literally is just somebody who is focused, and I think God's got his hand on him. I think he's blessed as a great leader, and we're lucky to have him.
This is Logan. I was going to text you too, but I was like, it's 1 a.m. I'll let you know tomorrow. I think it can't be understated also how much people like you, and of course the bringing together, when you see that room last night, and there's Elon Musk, and there's Dana White, and there's you, and there's Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK, and this group of people, an unlikely maybe pairing of a lot of different people. It really showed that there was this broad, it almost, this morning when I saw those pictures, I went, well, of course this is how it went. These are people that even my 10-year-old or my 12-year-old son knows who they are, appreciates the work they do, knows about it. This was sort of America right there in that room.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, having Tulsi and RFK Jr., two high-profile Democrats who came over, and while they don't agree with President Trump on everything, they just said he's the best for the job. That was amazing. I think it was remarkable. And look, I did a lot of work with the Arabs and Muslims in Detroit, Dearborn, Michigan, literally the center of Democrats and Arabs for the last decade. They voted for President Trump. He won Dearborn, Michigan. And now you think about why. It's because people want peace. They don't want wars. And Donald Trump proved that he knows how to deliver peace through the Abraham Accords, through the Kosovo-Serbia negotiations, 4 economic agreements that he got. This is somebody who knows how to deliver because he's a businessman. He wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. He knows how to do this, and I think you're going to see a lot more of this deal-making for America in the next 4 years.
We also know, Rick, that he will have the benefit of being president before, with a strong Senate majority. We don't know how strong it will be, but we're hoping to add more to that as the votes are counted. I'm frustrated like you. I would like, it's just absurd that we don't have all these votes by then. But the idea that he is going to be able to go in with a team, having been through this before and having 4 years to think about it too, that can go right in and get that work started. It's not like starting from scratch in a brand new administration. This is a team that people like you and others, you have the contacts, you have the resources, you've been working with them, you've been in touch with them. The fact that you were able to go to that community in Dearborn, Michigan, and say, and they were welcoming and they wanted to be part of this coalition. I thought last night what was the worst of the left media coverage was how they just started picking and choosing different demographic groups to blame. They still didn't figure it out, Rick, that people vote individually. They don't just vote as a group. And so, first they were mad at white women, then it was black men, then it was Latinos and Hispanics, and then it was just, I think, everybody. It was basically they were just mad at the country. And that's, I think, what they lost during this entire campaign was trying to put everybody into a box. And like, this box, they only care about this. This box only cares about this. And we'll say that to them and they'll vote for us. And what we saw was that they weren't going to vote for them. But bigger than that, Rick, is that they came out and voted for Donald Trump. They didn't sit on their hands.
Yeah, look, I think people want to be treated with respect. They want to have a discussion. Nobody in America is black and white when it comes to their views on policy issues. And you need to be able to have these conversations. Look, getting peace is really difficult because you've got to work hard at it. It's so much easier just to ignore problems and let them fester into chaos or war. And I think the same goes for winning elections. You've got to show up. Look how hard President Trump worked. He went in to places like California, Madison Square Garden. He did a rally in New Mexico. He was really working hard in places that people didn't expect. And you compare that to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris didn't go to Dearborn, Michigan. It reminds me of Hillary Clinton not going to Wisconsin. When a Democrat doesn't go to Dearborn, Michigan, to the heart of Democrat votes, you have to ask yourself why. What's the problem?
So, Rick, for our listeners, I think the priority right now, once we all settle down and again, I want to give people a day to celebrate. They deserve it. They have been working hard too for 4 years. They've been going through it with us. They've been fighting with us. They've been telling their friends and family. They've been supporting President Trump for literally longer than even the campaign because they saw how he came under attack with the lawfare, with the raids. But then I think, we have to get back down to it. And we've got these races out there like the House races. And I think that's probably where, finishing up some of these Senate races, Rick, and then looking at these House races where there could be some runoffs and legal issues. I think that's where we've got to look.
Yeah, we got to finish this race strong. And then, you know what? We got 2 years from now, we got to do it all over again. Our work never quits to make America great.
Absolutely not. And Rick, it's been an honor, again, having you throughout this process. Congratulations to you. And you really have been one of the strongest supporters of President Trump, clearest supporters of President Trump. You've been all over the world, putting it all on the line. And again, you deserve one of those days too, to just take those congratulations. They are heartfelt. They are serious. And we appreciate you being part of our team as well at the ACLJ.